The rain's gone away. It's Sunday, February 26th. Golfers are out and there's no visible water anywhere. So here we are driving by the Green Valley driving range. And there's no standing water. Everything is back to normal. Again, it is Sunday, February 26th, and it hasn't rained in over a week, so the water level in Green Valley Creek is just a little high, more like a normal flow. You can see when the water's high, the sandbag's up about 4 feet higher than this to protect this house from floodwaters. So Green Valley's had a week to dry out. If we go across the bridge, and we look on the other side, the flow is just pretty normal. Yep, just pretty normal flow there. See the creek down in the banks, and there you have it. Here we are in front of the Green Valley Firehouse. It hasn't rained in over a week, so everything is pretty dry. The wet winters come to be pretty normal. There's still a little water running in the creek next to the Green Valley Firehouse. This is on Sunday, February 26th at the Fall School Playground. And this is panning towards the basketball hoops. I'm sort of in the middle of this play field. I've just come out here with the shovel because I want to do a scientific experiment. So I brought a drone too in case we want to fly over this area. So there's my tripod and there's the shovel. And what I've done is I just dug a very shallow hole about 10 to 12 inches deep. And the amazing thing is it is filled up with water. So that water is about 8 inches down. So this is what we call a classic perched water table. And I will dig another hole and hopefully I can video it while I dig, because when I start to dig, there's absolutely no water. And we'll do a couple samples around this field and see where the water is. And you can see it's filled up there. So I'll try to video when I'm digging the next hole. Okay, again, it's Sunday, February 26th. It rained last night a week ago, so this ground is at a pretty now. Most places, all the moisture is gone and it's gone down into the groundwater. So I'm going to dig a little hole here so you can see. And it's just easy digging, nice soil. Pretty easy digging. So then it looks like there's a lot of aquatic plants here, and that sort of interests me too. So I have to quit digging here in a couple more scoops because right now there is no water in this hole. I'm about 8 inches deep, maybe 10. Okay, so there's the hole. And I want to get the camera over here fast before it starts filling up with water. So there we go. There's a nice little hole. Okay, let me hustle. So I'll bring the camera over here. And you can see the little hole. And see, it starts out dry. Oh, but here comes the water already. It's about a foot deep. It's seeping in there pretty rapidly. So we'll just hold the camera here. And it's pretty an amazing phenomenon in nature. So we'll dig a few test holes around there. You can see how quickly that hole's filling up. And I'll hold the shovel so you can see how deep it is. Now, you could understand this if it had recently rained or, there was a substantial amount of moisture out here. But as you can see, okay, so now there's the school. You can see I'm just sort of out here in the middle of this you know, one of the play fields at Fall School. So there's the hole, and there's the shovel. I will go over there. Let me tilt that down a little. Well, the camera turned off, but I turned it back on. So the hole is filling up with water, and now the water is in this hole. It's about to right there, so it's probably a foot down. But the amazing thing, in this hole I dug previously over here, this hole, it's had about an extra 5 minutes, and this water is all the way up to here. This water is now 6 inches from the top. So I will bring the camera back over here. I'll put the shovel here, and we'll come take a look. Okay, here comes the camera. There's some of the schoolrooms. Okay, now here is the second hole I dug, and you can see the water's down there about a foot. But the amazing thing is the first hole, that's 5 minutes earlier, the water's almost to the surface. No, not the surface, I would say 6 inches deep. And we'll go around this site and dig a couple more exploration holes and see what we find. And here I will take the shovel again, now that you've seen that water. And I will adjust this a little down. That's pretty good. And I will take the shovel. And now keep in mind, this started out with no water. And now that's touching the water. Water's right there, so it's that black amount. I'd say about 5 inches. I'd say the water, this perched water table has caused the water from this hole that's about a foot deep to come up to within 5 inches of the surface elevation. Pretty amazing. Well, I've covered up the holes and filled them back in the best I could. The amazing thing is the water continued to rise, and it got within almost 2 inches of the surface in this back hole. And I took a previous video to the north, up near the north boundary of this property, where the neighbor pumped out his yard continuously for about 2 weeks, and the water table never dropped. So this is really an interesting phenomena and a very amazing perched water table. So there you have the school, there you have the holes, and we will move over to a site. We'll just randomly pick a site in the middle of the property. It's Tuesday, March 22nd, and I'm at the house next to Fall School, and they've been pumping this water out from underneath the house for 2 weeks. And so this will be the exact same sort of drainage of Fall School if they develop it. And this has been going on for 24 hours a day for 2 weeks. It's just because the groundwater, there's a very high perched water table here. And if I walk forward, you can see there's Fall School. And actually the driveway's flooded out. Hey, you know what's so great about your thing? I've moved over into the middle, about the geograph, a little on the south, but pretty much in the middle. There's the multi-purpose room. Of course, you can see it's elevated about 3 feet. Trying to deal with this perched water problem, this perched water table problem. And that's going over towards the classrooms. So I moved over here, sort of into the middle of the site here. And here, these people, what's fascinating is because of the water issues, you can see they barricade their properties. Like this property has concrete, built a little retaining brick wall to deflect the water. And you can see they even put up some plastic to try to keep the water flow. This is different though. This is surface water, to try to keep the surface water off of this property. I mean, the surface water coming from Falls School onto their property. So you can see the drain water, well, there's still drain water here because that's about the level of the Perched water table right there. Because you can see how they fortified themselves. So you see where that water is, it's about 6 inches subsurface. I would say this will probably sit here the rest of the winter. So panning back towards the school and back towards my shovel. So we will walk back to the shovel. And you know, I could have picked a low spot like over here, but I chose to pick more of a upland spot. You can see here the water level's probably, well, I'll come over here and dig next, but I'd say the water level's within 4 inches of the surface. So I'm over here in more of a elevated area, and I just dug a hole here. I put the shovel here and dug down, and I dug about a foot deep, and let's see what happened. There's the soil. Well, you can see it's already almost full of water. It started out dry. We'll see how high it goes, but it's rising. It's coming up very rapidly in this hole. So you can see that. That's water. Let me see if I can stir it around for you. See that? And that water is already about 8 inches deep. So it's that deep. Yeah, it's probably a foot deep. And it's only about 6 inches. So my hole must be about 14 inches because there's 8 inches of water in that hole and then about 6 inches of soil. So now I'll back up and we'll dig another hole because it's interesting what happens here. Okay, there's the camera, and I'll just dig a hole right here. How's that? Might be a little close to the camera. Okay, that's not bad. One shovel. It'd probably take about six or 8 shovels, maybe more. So there's a couple. Okay, so I think that's probably deep enough. Let's see. The beauty is, there we go. There's no water right now. Let me get this. Let me get the camera over here before it starts filling up. So there's the hole, and I'll bring the camera over here. Okay, and you can see, here's the hole. You can see the water starting to seep in very rapidly, and it's not very deep, this hole. Let me put the tripod down a little. But you can see how quickly it starts filling up. So we'll sit here and watch it a little. And there it is, filling up, filling up, filling up. And remember, when I dug it, there was no water. In this other one, if I go over to it, you can see it's almost full. You see the water there? Let me see, maybe if I shoot this way, it'll be, you can see it better. Okay, see the water? And then this one, you know what, maybe I'll leave these holes open. We'll see if they fill all the way to the top. That would be fascinating. So there are those two holes out here in the middle of Falls School. And there they are. So I'll leave those open for a bit and we'll go try another spot. We'll go try that low spot over there and see what happens. Okay, I've come over here to a spot that seems a little lower, and I'll dig a hole here. We'll see. Well, I would say this will fill up immediately. There's one shovel, two shovels. Oh no, water's already seeping in here. So this must be a little lower elevation because this hole's already filling up with water. So I'll do one more shovel so we have 4. And let's see what we have. Not very deep. Okay, let's get over here before it starts filling up. And you can see When I dig it, it's dry, but here comes the water seeping in. Perfect timing. You see it seeping in, see it filling the hole, and there we go. I'll throw a little rock in there so you can watch it. You can see, we can see there's a dirt clod in the middle. Well, it's going away because the water level's rising. There we go. It's coming up pretty rapidly, maybe an inch every 20 seconds. Well, you can see it seeping in from the side. So let's measure this one. Bringing the camera back to here and make this leg a little taller. Okay. Tilt this forward a little. There we have the hole. Okay, and well, the water's right there. Hear that? Well, I'm cleaning my shovel now, which is good. So the water is only that far down in the hole. So that's about there, maybe eight, a minimum of 8 and a maximum of 10 inches deep. So we'll bring the camera back over here and take a look. And you can see the perched water table. Pretty amazing, coming up very rapidly. And now if we go back and look at some of these previous holes, like this hole, it's up pretty high. It's about 6 inches from the surface. You can see that's water. Let me drop some. You can just see it's solid water right there. See, it's deep water. And now let's walk over to these holes and see if it's changed any. I covered up the previous holes. Here we go. Well, that's amazing. There's that water. Let me throw something in there. That's only about 4 to 6 inches from the top. And I mean, we can continue doing this on this whole site. I would say if we moved to the west, closer to the creek, we're staying far away from the creek because you would think near the creek the water might be closer to the surface. But you saw the creek is barely running earlier in this video. So maybe we should go over there by that. We'll go over by that, by the baseball field, by that batting cage over there and see what we see. I'm not going to fill these holes in right now because the water continues to rise. I actually want to see if it comes all the way to the surface. This one's about 3 to 4 inches from the surface. This one I dug later, and it's still about 6 inches from the surface. But these, where I dug over here where it's a little lower, these are amazing. This one where the shovel is, I might start artesianing. No, it's about 3 inches from the top. No, I'd say 4 inches because it's about 4 inches, but I'm going to fill it back in. But you can see I dug it a foot deep, so now we have 8 inches of water and 4 inches of land of ground remaining that could possibly fill.